The Krelloth had ruled the Andromeda sector for 3,000 cycles. Their exoskeletons could withstand plasma fire. Their neural networks processed battlefield data faster than any computer, and their warrior caste had never known defeat. Commander Zixathera had led campaigns across 17 star systems, and in all those years he had learned one universal truth. Soft-bodied species did not survive first contact. That truth shattered on the fourth moon of Epsilon Prime. The human ship had crashed there 6 solar rotations ago, a small science vessel with minimal armaments and a crew of 12. Zixathera's tactical display showed their life signs scattered across the frozen wasteland, separated into 2 groups. Standard protocol dictated bombardment from orbit, but the Supreme Command wanted prisoners. They wanted to understand what made these humans think they could explore Krelloth territory. Zixathera deployed 3 hunter packs, 60 of the Krelloth's finest warriors against 12 scientists. It should have been a massacre. The first pack went silent within an hour. Impossible. Zixathera clicked his mandibles in frustration, studying the tactical readouts. The second pack had located the larger human group, 8 survivors holed up in a crashed cargo module. Leading them, his scouts reported, was a human female designated Elsa and a human male called Jixon. They have constructed fortifications, Subcommander Hraxenal reported, his voice carrying notes of disbelief, using debris from their vessel. And they have adapted our weapons. Adapted? Zixathera's crest flared. They have had 6 rotations. Our plasma rifles required genetic imprinting. They bypassed it. Rewired the firing mechanisms entirely. The female, Elsa, appears to have engineering knowledge. The male, Jixon, coordinates their defensive positions with remarkable efficiency. Zixathera watched the live feed as his second pack advanced. The humans had turned wreckage into a fortress, using the moon's magnetic fields to create sensor dead zones. Clever but ultimately futile. The attack began at dawn. 20 Krelloth warriors, their armor gleaming in the pale sunlight, advanced in perfect formation. The humans opened fire immediately, not with panic or desperation, but with calculated precision. Elsa had positioned herself in an elevated sniper's nest, picking off warriors with headshots that found the weak points in their armor. How did she know where those points were? Jixon led the ground defense, his soft human voice somehow cutting through the chaos with clear, calm orders. Elsa, 3 o'clock flanking maneuver. Chen, conserve ammunition. Short controlled bursts. Martinez, collapsed that ice shelf on my mark. They fought like they had trained for this moment their entire lives. But they were scientists, a geologist, a botanist, an engineer, a medical officer. Not soldiers, yet they fought like legends. The second pack retreated with 40% casualties. Unthinkable, unacceptable. Zixathera deployed himself with the third pack, determined to end this humiliation personally. As they approached the human fortress, his tactical assessment grew more troubling. The humans had adapted again. They had studied the Krelloth movements from the first 2 attacks and adjusted accordingly. They had set traps using salvaged power cells, created improvised explosive devices from their own ship's fuel reserves, and somehow established a communication network using nothing but salvaged components. This female, Elsa, Zixathera observed, watching her through his targeting scope. She modifies our weapons while under fire. Her hands do not shake. The male, Jixon, Hraxenal added. He positioned his people to maximize our casualties while minimizing their exposure. He thinks 3 moves ahead. They are scientists, Zixathera repeated, as if saying it enough times would make it make sense. The battle that followed would be analyzed in Krelloth military academies for generations to come. Jixon turned the frozen terrain into a weapon, using the moon's seismic instability to trigger avalanches that swallowed entire squads. Elsa modified a plasma rifle into a makeshift cannon that punched through heavy armor plating. The other humans, each supposedly specialized in non-combat disciplines, fought with a ferocity that defied explanation. But it was not just their tactics or their improvisation that disturbed Zixathera. It was something else, something in their eyes. When a Krelloth warrior named Thexnor fell through weakened ice into freezing water, drowning in his own armor, Jixon actually paused the fight.
"Hold fire,"
he shouted. And incredibly, the humans stopped shooting. Jixon called out in broken Krelloth, words he must have learned from intercepted communications. "We pull him out." You stop shooting. He lives. Zixthara was so shocked he actually honored the ceasefire. They watched as two humans, risking their own lives, pulled Thexner from the water. Elsa even used her medical kit on him, stabilizing his condition before withdrawing back to their positions. Why? Zixthara demanded over the comm, genuinely confused. We are trying to kill you. Jixen's response came through the translator. Doesn't mean we have to let him die like that. There's a difference between warfare and murder. That was when Zixithara understood. These humans did not fight because they were warriors. They fought because they had no choice. But they fought with honor, with ingenuity, with a refusal to surrender that transcended mere survival instinct. The siege lasted 3 more days. In the end, Zixthara made a decision that would cost him his commission, but save his honor. He withdrew. Why? The Supreme Command demanded. Because, Zixthara said, I have seen the future, and it speaks with a human voice. These 12 scientists held off 60 of our finest warriors. Imagine what their soldiers could do. Imagine what their civilization could do if we make them our enemy. The report he filed was classified, but portions leaked. The story of Elsa and Jixen, the engineer and the geologist who became warriors, the scientists who stood against the Krelloth Empire and survived, spread across the galaxy. Humanity was granted passage through Krelloth space. Not out of generosity, but out of respect. Zixithara never led another campaign, but sometimes in his rest cycles he would review the footage of that battle and wonder, if humans could do this with 12 scientists and debris from a crashed ship, what could they not do? He had witnessed the birth of legends, and he had been wise enough to step aside before they became his civilization's nightmare. The humans called it survival. The galaxy would come to call it something else. They would call it humanity.